This episode of MMA Nuts is brought to you by
NordVPN. Get advanced security, internet freedom, and complete privacy. Save 73% off the 2-year plan plus 4 months free with code MMA Nuts. Polar Pod, the most affordable cold plunge pod on the market. Save 10% off with code MMA. Wild Alaskan Company. Healthy, affordable, convenient fish sent right to your door. Save $25 off with code BIGFISH25. Newsist. Vegan nutrition products. Save 15% off with code FIT10. Defense Soap. Everyday soaps for everybody. Use code MMA Nuts to save 15% off your order.
Hey fans, this is MMA Nuts, episode 624.
624.
My name is Ingo Weigel.
Macro MMA show by fans for fans. Walk the line between serious and ridiculous. What are you drinking over there? Straight water from the tap?
Straight water.
Same.
From the tap.
Mine's a little red.
Something's wrong with your tap water. I think it looks a little red.
Well, I just had my pipes cleaned.
Okay.
Just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, moving right along. How about those Chicago Bears there? Want to know? And fucking preseason. I think that's how we started last year. We're all hyped up.
They look good, for the couple of highlights I saw.
Yeah, Justin Fields was like 3 for 3.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Granted, both of them were screen passes, but who gives a shit? He was like 140 plus yards on 3 plays. We're going in the right direction. I think the defense had like 8 sacks or something insane.
Mm-hmm.
We're going in the right direction. I'll tell you what, I made some crazy bets. You can make some crazy bets. Like one of them, Justin Fields MVP. I don't even know what it was. $100 on him. I think it pays like 2,500 or 2,000 if it pays out. Bears make the playoffs. $25 on that one. And then the most egregious one I bet was like $75 for the Bears to win the Super Bowl.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think that one pays like $1 million if it pays out or something. The odds are not great, but there's a lot of people betting on the Bears this year because they're such a crazy wild card of you have no fucking idea what's going to happen. Justin Fields is going to be really good. You just don't know to what extent.
Right.
You give him all these weapons and everything's been a little bit upgraded. See what happens.
Well, he's got to stay healthy too, and that's the thing. So we'll see. I mean, their schedule doesn't look insane.
And he doesn't have to rush for 1,000+ yards again, like running for his life, trying to make shit happen. You can incorporate some of that, It's about longevity too and keeping him safe.
Yeah, and I've been reading some reports about these helmets that they got going on in training camp with the protecting the dome with this weird thing. And
this oversized helmet.
They're talking about potentially looking at doing that in games, like adding some sort of a new helmet depending on position to prevent concussions. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. But
well, the helmets look fucking stupid, so that's what's going to be tough. They
look heavy.
Yeah, it's like a weevil wobble, but different, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for protecting them, but you got to make that shit look cool, whatever that is. That's like someone wearing like one of them oversized baseball hats that look fucking stupid as shit. So, and then it'd have to be smooth, and then you got to get all the logo and all that shit on there. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah,
let's talk about some MMA. There was a little UFC over the weekend.
Yes.
Just a few things to mention. One, I know Polyana Vienna, she had a fight. She wanted to wear some walkout gear, and I want to share what she wanted to wear, but they denied her. So she had this outfit that she wanted to walk out in. Why can't someone walk out in, an outfit like that?
I don't know, because it doesn't go with the branding.
Does Venom have to make it? If it was Venom made, then can she wear it?
I bet she probably could.
Yeah, that's a problem. What else? Some dude got the 3rd Twister submission in UFC history.
The
Damon Blackshear. Yeah. Give me the old dick twist. Twist it. Wait, not that? Twist it. Not the McTwist, the McDick twist or whatever. I feel like I'm doing skateboarding, MMA, and some sort of gay porn.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever. And then whatever else. Khalil Roundtree, like we said, that fight was going to be a banger, and they fucking brutally knocked out. If I could say his name,
Backhouse. Daukus.
Dakis.
Daukus.
Yeah, there we go.
Daukus. Yeah.
I can never get that right. We
Mhm.
have so many international fighters that it's very tough to get everyone's name right, especially when you're going to go Brazilians.
Yes. Well, let's talk Brazilians. The main event, eh? Luke versus Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos. Anjos.
Is he aged out of the sport?
I don't know. Like I felt like
Gatekeeper.
I don't know. I feel like it was a close kind of a back and forth battle, but the wrestling just wasn't there for Dos Anjos, and I felt like Luke seemed like he was stronger than Dos Anjos quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just didn't go Dos Anjos' way, just I don't know. He's up there in age too. Maybe it's the stash. He needs to like kill that thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And he's the one guy that probably got the most raw deal, because wasn't he supposed to get the fucking red panty night against Conor McGregor, and then that fight fell through and he never got that one back?
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunate. It's weird how these things happen in MMA, and then you miss your fucking payday. Like, oh my God, you would have got fucking paid and maybe a little bit more marketable, and who knows what would happen. He wins that fight, Conor doesn't go on to be Conor, or vice versa. A lot of things happen, but just a raw deal. I don't have anything else for this weekend's fights. We can move along if you want.
No, we keep it rolling.
UFC 292 this weekend.
Yes.
I'll pull it up. There are some decent fights on here, as we'll preview here. So you have Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley for a bantamweight title. I don't know which way to go on that one. I think that's a coin flipper, even though they have Sterling as the underdog. Or I'm sorry, as a favorite. O'Malley as the underdog.
Yeah, well, I think O'Malley has got the striking advantage. Sterling is probably the more of the grappling wrestling advantage, right?
But O'Malley's no slacker on the ground.
He's
There's a lot of
not.
people saying first round guillotine O'Malley.
I could see that happening, and
Where's Snoop Dogg when we need him? O'Malley.
well, and Sterling has a tendency, there's some bad blood between these guys, and Sterling, if I recall, like was it Cejudo who got under his skin a little bit, like previously, and it just O'Malley's got a lot of hype behind him, and he's got the fans, so it's like and he's getting incrementally better every time he fights. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with a KO. I think by O'Malley I think like second round is kind of where I'm thinking, somewhere around there. It just kind of feels right to me as far as I think Sterling might have some success with grappling in the first round, but then O'Malley's going to get the best of him in the stand up. You know how that goes. So,
yeah, he's got that weird, awkward style, but he's got good timing with it.
He does.
And I want to say, I think Sterling, not that this fight was taken on short notice, but I don't think Sterling was 100% ready to take this fight as soon as he took it. But from the pictures I've seen of the guy, he looks like he's in fucking phenomenal shape. Allegedly on the gear, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying doesn't pass the smell test.
Allegedly.
Yep. And then you have another title fight. Zhang Weili. I never know if her name is Weili Zhang or Zhang Weili. Scholar Weili versus Lemos, which is kind of interesting because you have the champ versus the number 5. Okay. Neil Magny versus Ian Gary. Should be a fucking good one. Cody Garbrandt is out of this fight, so I don't know who's going to replace him yet. Vera versus Munoz. Scrappy Little Fucks. And then the one I'm most excited, I think, to see is Chris Weidman making his return from that horrific leg injury versus Brad Tavares. And Chris said that when he comes out there, he's going to throw the hardest leg kick he's ever thrown in his life against Tavares to see if his leg will hold up. Like, oh my God, that's a great way to approach it, because I would think most guys are going to be hesitant to throw that when you've fucking just completely destroyed, I don't know, whatever it is, both bones in your fucking leg, tibia and fibia or whatever is down there. And
Well, the Tavares fight makes sense because he's like lost
yeah,
a couple in a row and he's not that dangerous, right? He's been around a little while. These guys are fairly evenly matched as far as
at this
age,
point,
everything
sure.
else, so really low risk. But I just think that's insane to think that he's just gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna throw the leg.
As hard as I can. And then some. I'm like,
uh,
great, let's see
I
what
don't
happens.
know.
I mean, it should hold because you probably have a fucking titanium rod or something in there. So he should actually do more damage. Because I want to say it's a million times stronger once they put some fucking metal and screws in that shit. Or at least that's what they tell these people. I don't know if it's really true. But we'll find out fucking Saturday night when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. Scrolling. Andrea Lee. Hey, everyone had a fucking picture. What's going on, UFC? You're letting me down or up? Not quite sure. But some fun fights out there. Decent card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Weidman's not on the main card. He's a former UFC champion.
Yeah.
Again, they're trying to like, let's have him as like the main event on the undercard to sell the pay-per-view. Fuck that. Put all your good fights on the pay-per-view. People are buying it or they're not. I've never done like watch the prelims and then decide if I'm gonna buy the pay-per-view. It was always bought for me. Like good
Yeah.
fight, I'm buying it. Now it's always bought, but back in the day it was like whatever the main event is, and if there's a couple other good fights, that's the determining factor, not how the card's going. Because the undercard has nothing to do with the fucking main card. Like, so stupid strategy. And again, like the last card when you had like Wonderboy fall off of the main card that elevated Derrick Lewis up,
Mm-hmm.
that fucking made sense. Like, why wasn't he on the main card?
It does make sense. Yeah, I mean, but I wonder what the data shows, like I bet
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, there's probably something supporting it.
exciting fights leading into the end of the free stuff might lead to
Right.
people buying the pay-per-view. I bet it does in some way.
It
So
does. I'm just on the other side of that where it's predetermined if it's bought or not, regardless of what happens on
you
them.
cannot be fooled.
No. I know the smoke and mirrors. I go with the smoke, not the
Mm-hmm,
mirrors.
mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, let's talk about a little sponsor action.
Sponsors, Manscaped.
Cool. You're
Attention.
like a 80s video game. I like this.
Attention, all my bearded beasts from stubble to mane. If you didn't already know, Manscaped now sells beard products. You heard that correctly. Leaders in below the waist grooming changed the game with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit. And now they're going a step further with their brand new Handyman. An
Whoa.
electric face.
Is the guy gonna come over and shave me
Yeah.
down?
And a white t-shirt. An electric
Awesome.
face shaver for a quick and convenient way to achieve a clean shaven look. Whether you're looking to sharpen up your neckline or give your face that smooth finish, the Handyman has you covered.
Nice.
Go to manscaped.com/MMA nuts for 20% off and free shipping. It's time to go from 5 o'clock shady to yeah, baby.
Nice. It's like a handyman in a box, or what is it, a dick
The
in a
Handyman
box?
can.
Or
Isn't
you
that a
shit
song?
in a box. Yeah, the handyman can, because he's
Ugh.
something sugar and sweets, and don't look at my tweets. Hey, no one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Beard Hedger. Right back to you.
Yes, and get 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com/MMA nuts. Like I said, that's 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com/MMA nuts. Hit the refresh button with Manscaped.
That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex, guys. I always say that my way, not the way it's written. Remember the days when you were always ready to go. Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in the bed, bedrooms, multiple rooms, wherever it takes place. Listen up, bluechew.com.
And the process is simple. You can sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy.
That's right. And Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. And we got a special deal for our listeners. You can try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code NUTS. At checkout, just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code NUTS to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Thank you, Blue Chew.
And this episode is sponsored by Ridge Wallet. And Ridge has partnered up with Hennessy for their summer sweepstakes. Without spending $1, you can enter on their website for the chance to win a brand new upgraded Hennessy Ford Bronco or $75,000 in cash if you would prefer that instead. And you get one bonus entry for every $1 you spend on the site, and custom Hennessy products come with up to 1,000 entries. I've used our link, ridge.com/MMANuts, possibly even our code MMANuts. You can save 10% off. Plus, you'll get 10 bonus entries at checkout. And once again, my favorite one is the leather-lined Ridge wallet, cash on the outside and the section here, all your cards in the middle.
It's perfect.
Virtually indestructible.
That looks extremely thin, Matt. And from what I hear,
Super
it holds
thin.
up to 12 cards plus room for cash. It's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber, burnt titanium, and more. The wallets have over 80,000 five-star reviews. The durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. The Ridge team is so confident that you'll like it, they'll let you test drive it for 99 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it.
I feel like they should have just went one more for 100.
100 days.
Oh, that's crazy talk, man. Keep it at 99. It's like driving the speed limit. Stay alive, drive 55. If you've ever been considering getting a Ridge, now's the best time. You can save 10% off with code MMANuts at ridge.com/MMANuts. And just like that, right back to the show.
Back to the show. Well, before the break, we were talking about
Yes.
Derrick the Beast Lewis getting out.
Yes.
And speaking of Derrick the Beast, he just apparently signed a new 8-fight deal with the UFC.
He's going to be 73 by the time he's done fighting in the UFC. Once a
Yes.
year, every 3 years.
So good for him. I mean, I like it. I didn't see details of what that entailed, but whatever it is, he's locked in for a while. I can see why. Very entertaining fighter.
Yeah, he's like the most marketed guy out there. And, you know, we just did our Manscaped read, and I just saw Derrick Lewis was doing a Manscaped commercial now talking about his hot balls. You don't want to have your hot balls. You want to go to Manscaped. So they fucking parlayed that into a Manscaped ad. Perfect. I thought I had it somewhere, but if I find it, I'll edit it in. But that was pretty fucking dope. UFC approved, because Manscaped is one of UFC's largest sponsors, you know, so good on him. And yeah, I would imagine, fuck, how much money is he making a fight? At least $500,000 at this point, because you got to think, as far as marketability of heavyweights, it's Jon Jones, and I would potentially argue Derrick Lewis may be more popular than Jon from social media aspect. Maybe you follow him on fucking Twitter. It's a good follow. He posts crazy shit, so good for him. And he seems like he's a likable fella, so that's what we like.
Seems like a regular guy.
Yeah. And then I just mentioned Jon Jones, so I guess this past week he's been training with Gordon Ryan.
Yeah,
so we'll show a little bit of footage here.
Saw this video.
Sound off. So well, it's kind of, to me, it looked like whatever they're doing here, you know, a little wrestling, a little scrambling. Jon's kind of holding his own and all this stuff, but you know, This is training, not like I'm trying to fucking murder you and take your head off.
Well, there's a lot of hoopla surrounding this, and if you don't know what you're watching, you might get overly excited. But what they're doing is they're play grappling in a sense, right? The idea is to be in to have the motion of the body and the movement, the flow of it. It's you're not really resisting your opponent in that sense. You're trying to allow like the game to be played, as because it promotes like positive movement and things. So it's hard to tell. Like, could he beat Gordon Ryan?
No,
I don't. I think not.
In jiu-jitsu, no. But
no, I mean in MMA. I mean, obviously,
100%. Yes.
Yeah, but in straight grappling, I don't think so. So,
no. And Gordon they'd asked him about the training, and this is what he said. He said, on the mats, when Jon talks about normal stuff, he can come off just like anyone, a regular guy. When he talks about combat, you see an intentional shift in his demeanor and thought process. You see the gears start turning, and you see the depth at which he understands the sport. I threw some complicated sequences at him, and he learned as fast as anyone. By day 3, he was exponentially better at drilling than he was on day 1. He is truly an exceptional athlete, and I am very thankful I could be a very small part in his upcoming camp. This is hopefully the first of many trips out to Albuquerque. What an honor. So how hard is Jon wrecking Stipe in that fight?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Stipe at this point based on, what I've been seeing from Jon, but there is always the factor, Stipe is a tough dude. So if we'll have to see. We'll have to see as the fight gets closer and I start to pay attention more to like what's actually happening and we know what's happening. These training camp videos are always like, meh, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Jon should handily defeat Stipe, but you never know. Stipe's tough. So
I'd say it's going down in first round. Jon's finishing him. And
is he gonna submit him, aka
I think he
Lyoto
could
Machida? She's like,
I think he could wrestle fuck him and submit him.
Yeah, probably.
But he's got that goddamn reach too.
Well, I'd like to see the old Jon who used to take guys down and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, like elbows.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So
because that's what I always thought. I thought like once he gets to heavyweight, his level of wrestling / grappling, he'll fuck people up. And then the ground and pound, like you're saying. Like go back to that, and the creativity, where I feel like he got stifled for a while, where they tried to limit his creativity, and then maybe it was just lack of challenges at light heavyweight, where you got all these lackluster performances from him because he's like, God damn, how many people do I need to beat? And this is getting boring for me. There's no fucking challenge. So now I'm at heavyweight. Yep. Now I have challenges, and all these people that were trying to argue that Stipe is the greatest UFC heavyweight ever. Fuck off. I know Jon's got a win at heavyweight, but I don't see anybody stopping him. And then it's also begs the question, does Jon retire like he's been talking about after that fight?
Probably. I mean, unless I could see him sticking around for like a Brock Lesnar or some super fight like that. But I mean, what else does the guy have to prove?
I don't know, because I think because he moved up to heavyweight, he can fight even longer into his career. Plus, he hasn't suffered like all the damage and KO losses. His lone loss is a stupid technicality of an elbow, right? So it's not like some of these guys like Bigfoot Silva, who's at 1 million KO losses. So Jon can just keep churning out the wins, and
it catches up to everybody eventually.
At some point.
The question is just when. So
yep.
But I think it's not going to be Stipe that. I mean, unless something crazy happens.
Stipe's problem is you can't be part-time out there, firefighting. I know it's a noble cause, and I'm not going to disrespect him for being a firefighter, but you can't fucking be foot in, foot out. And that's what I feel having a job as a professional fighter is. So what else is happening?
Well, Bellator 300 looking pretty solid. We got some 4 major title fights on that card. We got Ryan Bader versus Linton Vassell, Usman Nurmagomedov versus Brent Primus, and then of course your favorite Cris Cyborg versus Kat Zingano. And
scissor fighting.
Yes,
main event scissor fight.
Liz Carmouche versus Ilimale McFarland. So this is looking like this might be one to I think it's happening in October. Bellator 300
Yes,
looking
October
solid,
7th.
like a must buy potentially. You know, it's the card is looking very stacked.
I have to watch it just because the Cat Zingano Cris Cyborg action, like fucking
Mhm.
A. And then I'd watch the Bader Vassal fight next, and then never go over to Primus, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
Carmouche.
yep,
I mean, it's a good card. It's
fuck
definitely
yeah.
it's I'm excited about it. So
And rumors of the last truly Bellator card because I think people were asking Scott Coker about that. Like, are you guys being bought? Like, what's going on? Is this the last card? And he's kind of trying to downplay it. So it sounds like more than likely PFL is going to buy Bellator. That's what it seems like we're going here
mhm.
because the UFC's got their own shit going on that we'll talk about shortly. But
Yes, that was going to be my next story. If I think if we're
well,
talking about what I think.
well, yeah, we can go there if you want. So go there, and then I'll come back to some other shit.
Okay, are you talking about the antitrust lawsuit?
Yep.
What
Good.
so there's a 1.6 billion dollar antitrust lawsuit that started in 2014. I think Kung Lee, Nate Quarry, John Fitch, and a bunch of others like were doing that, citing that the UFC was using like poor strategies to kind of control the fighter pay and everything else, and as a result, like everybody suffered and nobody was making any money. Well, uh just recently it was elevated to a class action lawsuit, which now is going to include up to 1,200 fighters um that could potentially seek some damages. So anyone who competed in one or more live professional UFC bouts taking place or broadcast in the United States from the December 16th, 2010 to June 30th, 2017 is eligible to be a part of this class action lawsuit. And this could force the UFC, basically to pay $1 to $2 billion, worth of stuff so to people. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on this, because this seems kind of scary, like as far as if you're a UFC
Yeah. So
exec.
Eric Magrick, and I believe he's an attorney. He's been following this, and he posted the what's going to happen. He basically said just pave the way for a trial, and then the UFC, like you were saying, will be on the hook for billions in damages, and they have billions to pay out, so that's not going to be a problem. And then the other thing he said is the court could grant an injunction stopping the UFC from their ruthless, coercive contract and business practices. So the contracts are horrific when we're giving up. And I think Randy Couture was even talking about that, of like how long and how hard he had to fight to keep his likeness, because they were always trying to get everyone to sign over their likeness in perpetuity was part of the contract. And then Randy Couture said, once he won like his part of the lawsuit versus UFC, then the UFC changed their contracts and made them even harder and more egregious on the fighters. So it's
Mhm.
like he won for himself, but then basically fucked the others, and that's not his fault. But at the end of the day, I would imagine UFC is going to be paying out some money, and I don't know if they can settle this out of court, because it seems like it's going to hurt them more to go to a trial and have so much shit disclosed throughout a trial
Yeah.
that you'd be better served just saying, hey, here's a bunch of fucking money. Let's make this shit go away. Because then you also have to pay the attorneys in this process too. So it's not just like whatever the settlement is, it's attorney money, years, time, depositions, getting everybody in. I mean, it's a long fucking process, and it's probably well deserved to happen, because I mean the UFC has made a fuck ton of money off of the fighters, and I feel like they were more fair before the UFC was sold to whoever the current owners are, because now it's all about money and not really about helping the fighters. Where back in the day it was more about helping the fighters to an extent, because if you're paying them whatever 15 to 20% of your revenue and all the other major sports are paying 50%. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a level playing field. You need to help
No.
them out a little bit more, and probably some sort of pension fund, because these guys are going to be severely fucked up in their later years, like
Well,
football players.
that's what I wonder. I wonder if instead of paying out this lawsuit, they're going to find some way to create like a pension thing or some way to take care of the old fighters and the new fighters as a way of avoiding like all this bad press and everything else. Because the way these work, sometimes these lawsuits, like people can settle, and the UFC could settle as a whole with everyone involved, kind of a thing, or they could just go to trial, like you said, or there's a bunch of different roads that this could take. I'm just curious because shit, man, this is like 10 years ago this started, so it's like it's
It's
about
been
time.
forever, man. It kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
Yeah.
Like, we guys just, the fucking judge, we just make a ruling. Like, this was, I think it was even 3 years ago they could have made this ruling and didn't fucking do it. They just kept kicking the can down the road. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be better for the fighters. Because again, now we're having less and less opportunities. Because I think part of the issue of all this was the UFC kept buying the competition and then destroying it. Buy this org, buy that org, buy WEC, buy Pride, buy Strikeforce. Like, what else can we get our hands on? And just crush, fold the fighters in. Now they don't have as many opportunities to work. And now here's Bellator potentially getting folded into PFL. And then it's like, okay, we have what? One FC, you have PFL, UFC, and then offshoot of like a bare knuckle fighting championship. I mean, not many places to go, which is going to be a fucking problem, So we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out for the fighters getting paid.
I think it'd be good. Somebody needs to get paid. So.
I mean, you could easily just bring fighter sponsors back. I know why they don't want to do it now, but that was fun. Because remember when they used to say, we don't want it to look like NASCAR. And then they fucking made it look like NASCAR.
Right.
It's even worse. Like, it's fucking egregious. So while we're talking about fighter pay and all this, so Dana White was talking about that Wonderboy situation.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So this is what he had to say, Dana talking about Wonderboy and pay and whatever. He said, you decided not to fight. The guy was 3 pounds overweight. You get a piece of his purse if you take the fight. We also offered him another fight. There's a much bigger story behind the scenes. No, you don't just show up and say, yeah, I'm not going to fight. I want $250,000. That's not how it works. Hasn't worked that way for anybody. So what we do is try to get you another fight, try to turn you around quickly. If you don't turn around quickly, then we try to figure out, what did it cost for your camp? We'll reimburse you. There's a lot of different ways that this gets worked out. You don't just go, yeah, this guy's 3 pounds over and I'm not going to fight. And no, I won't take another fight 2 weeks later and pay me my show money. That's not how it works. You don't fight, you don't get paid necessarily in the contract, but we always make sure that we take care of everybody, and we're working it out with Wonderboy right now. It's all being worked out behind the scenes. This should be all worked out by whatever Saturday. So thoughts on this legal mumbo jumbo?
That's fucking stupid. Like, look, the guy is contractually obligated to be somewhere at a specific time in a physical condition that makes him prepared to fight. And there are rules that are in place that require both opponents to be in a specific state in order to fight, like physically.
Like
I have
Illinois?
Well, no, like they have to be on weight. And I have a real big fucking problem with the way they do this, because Wonderboy did his job, right? And then it's like the other guy didn't do his job, but he's supposed to like still take that fight, because he could be risking physical harm or injury beyond like this one card.
Right. And if he was on a show and win,
yeah,
fuck that, because now you're risking. Say he was 250 to show, 250 to win. Now you're gambling on your 250 win, because you're at a disadvantage now.
Yeah, especially if the other guy only makes 50 grand. So you're getting what, 60% of 50 grand instead of $250,000? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Cost risk. Like, is it worth it?
No, and I think Wonderboy even said, like, look, moving forward, if you're not on weight, I'm not fighting you. So that's basically the story here, and he's sticking to his guns. But it just seems like kind of a, it's like this is Dana, like classic Dana,
Yeah, Dana being Dana.
basically calling him a pussy for not taking that fight and saying
100%.
we're not going to pay you. And I feel like somebody, I don't know what the contract says, but hopefully Wonderboy gets his money. I think he should get all of his money, his show money. I think he should get every penny of it. He showed up. He was ready to fight. The other guy didn't show up. I consider not making weight not showing up. That's in my book.
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to think about the UFC just saved all the money that other guy didn't make weight, right?
Right. Yep.
Just maybe you just pay Wonderboy whatever that guy was. I don't know. Whatever it is, it should be written in the contract. So it's pretty fucking clear of if you make weight and your opponent doesn't make weight, here's what you're getting paid. So we can get rid of this fucking gray area. This goes right back to the fucking lawsuit.
Yep.
It's like egregious to the fighter. Like he does his job, he gets fucked. Because he even tried this in the past. It wasn't like this is the first time. He tried to fight a guy that missed weight, was over the weight limit, and he lost the fucking fight. So he's got a valid reason. He tried it once. It did not work out, and he lost. And then you lose rankings. And depending upon how long ago this fight was, you could have lost sponsors and blah, blah, blah. It puts you at a severe disadvantage for making more money in the future. So Dana is wrong.
I think he's wrong. I think he's really wrong. And I think it's another example of like how like you said, the UFC and based on that lawsuit has too much control over what happens. It's just not right. So,
or just make it very clear in a contract so we don't have to get to this point. If this happens, this happens.
Well, right. If
pretty clear. This happens a lot.
Show up on weight, prepared to compete, you will get your show money no matter what. That's what it should be. I think it should be nothing else. And maybe the incentive should be that the penalty needs to be harsher than it is to prevent guys from showing up, on fight night, or in some other way, like there should be some guarantees for a guy who takes a fight like that with the guy who didn't make weight, not just financially, but other things should be guaranteed to him in moving
blowjobs. Daily blowjobs.
Guaranteed daily blowjobs, exactly. So I don't know. It sucks. Wonderboy's kind of getting fucked on this one.
Yeah, hopefully and he's like the nicest guy ever. So like that's what's weird about this whole situation is like Dana talking shit on like one of the best guys in your company. Like just seems like a good guy all around. So and he's got a good YouTube channel. So what else is happening?
Well, we had talked about the Paul brothers a little bit last show, I think, and it looks like Logan Paul is going to be facing Dillon Danis October 14th in Manchester, England, on the Misfits boxing card. This is the same card that KSI is going to potentially, or is going to meet Tommy Fury in a fight, so in an exhibition fight. So pretty interesting to me that these Paul brothers continue to, be in the news and they're fighting. I was curious on your thoughts about this Dillon Danis versus Logan Paul matchup.
It's fucking retarded. Like, let me have a boxing match against the guy who's a jiu-jitsu wizard or whatever. He's Conor McGregor is jiu-jitsu coach. So let's have a boxing match against him. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Well, I feel like the Paul brothers are trying to inch closer and closer to Conor McGregor in some way, even though they're talking shit about him. Jake's
they are, but Conor will murder both of them in boxing.
I think so too. Yeah,
100%. And yeah, I mean, the only thing they have is size on him, but again, you gotta figure out what the right weight class is to fight at because they're both bigger. It's just to what level. I mean, Conor is a 155er. Well, now all gacked out of his mind now. He's on 170er for sure, but
yeah,
a legit 155, kind of like Nate Diaz. He's a legit 185 or 155, but you made him fight at fucking 185. So, I think it's a stupid matchup, and I don't know who the fuck's gonna buy that. Like, who wants to see Logan Paul box Dillon Danis? Because I think Dillon's pulled out of about 1 million fights. And I also want to say that I think there's a fine of $100,000 if Dillon pulls out of this fight for a illegitimate reason. He's got to pay $100,000. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
but and Dillon hasn't fought in a million years either. He's just been running his mouth for I think 3 or 4 years, or getting into a semi street fight at some other person's boxing match. So
Yep, yep.
fucking really weird matchup.
Super weird.
Some other fights announced. So Israel Adesanya is going to fight Sean Strickland at UFC 293 September 9th in Sydney.
Okay.
I'm very worried about the press conference for sure. That guy, I watched it. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I watched a little bit of it and I had to turn it off. I'm like, I understand a little bit more of why that guy is kind of messed up, but that guy's got problems. He's
You
got problems.
talking about Strickland?
Strickland, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably gonna have to put that press conference on tape delay because you don't know what the fuck that guy's gonna say. I'm gonna move along before I say anything else on that.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you.
Update. There's an update on the Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg fight.
Yeah.
So Elon tweeted this out, and I'll share this here. He said the fight will be managed by my and Zuck's foundations, not the UFC. Live stream will be on this platform and Meta. Everything in camera frame will be ancient Rome, so nothing modern at all. I spoke to the Prime Minister of Italy, Minister of Culture, and they have agreed on an epic location. But I think there was some other shit going on, because I think Mark basically said this motherfucker's not serious about fighting. Like I'm not taking it serious until we have a fucking signed agreement. And then Elon said, I'll come show up at your house and we can fight in your backyard octagon. Just like, let's go. I'll show up tomorrow. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Is this fight happening or not?
It's a lot of talk. I think I get it, because Zuck seems like he's friends with Dana, right? And he's trying to promote that platform as a viable, place to kind of show off this fight. But at the same time, he seems like, based on what I've seen on the internet, like he's serious about grappling, and he's like getting into it. And I understand what that's like, because we did it, and you start to gain some respect and understanding for what it takes. And now he's talking like a guy who's more of a professional fighter mindset, like, even though it's Zuckerberg, not saying he is a professional, versus Elon's kind of like, this is like an exhibition, he's just like, we're fucking around, like we're gonna make this crazy, and Zuck's like, no, I'm gonna kick your ass. That's
well,
kind of,
Elon's a troll. That's the problem.
Yes, he's way bigger than him though too.
That's and way older too. He's fucking 51.
So I don't know. I think it is going to happen. I just think they're going to jaw at each other for a little while longer.
Yeah, and probably some watered down rule set. I just cannot see them doing fucking straight on MMA. There's just no way.
No chance.
And you should do it with the UFC. Let the pros fucking handle it, because then you could also have a bigger card. Like Dana White was saying, he thinks the card will do over $1 billion. I don't think it will go that high, but it will be insane the amount of people that buy that, for sure. It would be the biggest combat sports pay-per-view buy rate in history. Bar none. And then you stack that fucker. You can probably, depending upon when it happens, you could get that Jon Jones, Brock Lesnar, bring Ronda Rousey out of fucking retirement, her, Miesha Tate 3.
Yep.
And then some other fucking weird offshoot fights. You can do a ton of shit. Do the Dana White, Tito Ortiz boxing match that fucking never happened. I don't give a shit.
They're both like 100 years old. I think Dana's going to take him now. He looks like he's in good shape.
I think he would have took him back in the day too.
Yeah.
Because I think Dana took it super serious, and that's why Tito ended up backing out, because it's like it was a lose-lose for Tito, because he's expected to win, and if you lose that, you're fucked.
Yep.
I
agree.
I got 2 other quick fight announcements or fight thoughts. I saw Fedor said he was interested in boxing, right?
Hmm.
And he said he's interested in boxing Mike Tyson. Is
Hmm.
there any appetite for a Fedor versus Mike Tyson at this point? They're both in their
No,
fucking 50s.
no. I think we're good.
Yeah, that's a hard sell for me. And then the last one, while we're on these old timer lines, so Oleg Tartarov versus Jeff Monson boxing match is going to happen. What are we doing? 3 2-minute rounds. You heard me. Taktarov 55 versus Jeff Monson. Again, Monson, the jiu-jitsu guy, doing a boxing match against Taktarov, who's a fucking actor, but was a UFC fighter a long time ago. Yeah, he Taktarov, what was he in? The National Treasure movie. And then I see him in random other movies. He might have been in John Wick, for all I know. There were so many fucking UFC fighters in that.
Yeah. Or was it the Expendables or something? Is that
Who knows? Like, these guys are fucking everywhere.
Mhm.
But again, what are we doing here? We're like, you're in your 50s. Shut it down.
Ridiculous?
Shut it down.
Totally ridiculous. Yeah.
Anyway, what else is going on?
Well, speaking of living your best life, here's our boy
Yes.
Charles Oliveira in Las Vegas.
Banging it out.
Surrounded by ladies. I'm not sure why some of them aren't wearing shoes, but this one on the
Or
right.
half her ass hanging out.
Yeah. I think this is a bachelorette party or something. He's just hanging around.
Right place, right time. And this chick looked like she had like wearing bullets, like a fucking belt made of bullets.
So I support this. It's very good. Very nice. It's good.
Hey, I can't argue. Vegas is Vegas. And moving right along, I saw we were talking about Conor McGregor. I got a couple of videos. You know, he's training hard for his fights. I gotta make sure my volume isn't too crazy. We'll show one right here. I got my sounds. So here's one video.
Yes, lads. Yeah, just here on the top floor of my triple deck, getting a bit of walk in.
Walk
in.
in.
Over here, that's Lorenzo Fertitta's yacht Lonian. There's his shadow yacht holder to carry all the toys. And next to it there is Uncle Frank's yacht. Uncle Frank Fertitta's yacht. So the gang is in town. Yeah, just getting a bit of walk in, lads. I'll be over shortly. And there's my big rocket ship Lamborghini now sailing by as well, yeah? Yep, the Fertittas, yep, the UFC. Baby, we did it. See you in a bit, lads. Absolutely.
So that's one of him training hard. And
sounds like a lot of yelling, not any training.
I think it's better. Oh, I gotta turn the volume off for this, unfortunately. But is he in Grand Theft Auto? He's in his Lamborghini boat right now. Is he just a Grand Theft Auto character at this point?
I think he is the Vice City one. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, shirt open, just jetting out. Woo! Training on for my fight. Crack rocks. And I guess he said, I know, Conor said that he's gonna fight Michael Chandler in December, and then Justin Gaethje, and then Nate Diaz. So is this for reals? Because
no way.
I think that motherfucker is not real.
I think he's living in dreamland. What the reality has escaped him. So I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. You know.
Well, how does he pass the USADA exemption?
Well,
because
he does maybe
he's got to be in the pool for 6 months.
Maybe March of next year he'll pass.
Or he gets a therapeutic use or whatever, the Brock Lesnar exemption, which is what it is. But anyway, what else is happening?
Last piece of news: John Dodson, BKFC 48, finally winning a belt. Got a KO against Junior Ridge. First round slobber knocker. Not really. They're little guys, so I don't have the video, but
they're fast as fuck.
Yeah, super fast. Good for him, making some success. I was thinking while I was watching this, I'm wondering if the lighter weight classes have more longevity in bare knuckle fighting due to less force, you know, more
I don't know.
speed.
It's just as violent though, because everyone gets is cut up and as many broken hands too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the little guys might have longer lifespan than the big guys, but maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think BKFC is just not good for your health. It's just not. I mean, I've seen so many of those, and it's like, what happened? Oh, I got broken hands, and my face is all cut up. And it's not like they're fighting a ton of rounds. It's like relatively fast, and it's just fast and furious. And you total line, like, holy fuck, this is old school shit. So. I saw Dan Hooker got a bunch of tattoos. I want to get your thoughts on his scheme here.
Oh,
Let's
geez.
show him. So what's up with these socks? That's weird. So we start with the socks.
Some strange, like, in the back.
Some kind of ancient warrior. I feel like I've seen that guy before.
That's cool. That's a lot of tattoos, though.
Let's wait till we get to his chest.
Really well done.
Yeah, I mean, and they're fucking clean, right? The work is clean.
I like that artwork. Whoa.
And that's almost reminiscent of a Brock Lesnar, the chest cock or whatever. But again, clean, like and it's weird because the skull's got like a fade on it, and then the swords are night. It's almost 3D-ish, but did he do ayahuasca? I feel like that's a guy who did some shit and he's going back to reality with a bunch of tats, tit for tat. I don't know. Now I'll give you a little weird MMA pick of the week. That's a odd one. Well, Nate Diaz and
freaking Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I thought Adam was doing a UFC movie.
He is.
So maybe that's what this is. Tweet of the week of Tree. So this is Mac Malley. He says, you can put this picture in a dictionary. I saw this. This dude got fucking knocked out so hard. So hard. That was one. And then we'll go to Super 70s. Apollo's looking pretty goddamn good for a dead man. I want the rematch.
They both look like they're still in good shape.
They always are. It's like you gotta be actors and action stars, you know. And then another Super 70s sports. Monday is a leg. Fucking sweep it.
I love it.
Hell yeah. Are they still doing that? I watched the first episode or the first season of Cobra Kai, and then I stopped.
I watched season one and two. It's definitely been at least two. I think there might be three. I'm not sure. But season 2 was different, but also good. So
there you go.
It's on Netflix.
And then you want to know why leg kicks work?
Oh,
take a look at that leg.
Jesus.
Yeah. It ain't pleasant. It ain't pleasant.
Muay Thai match?
I believe so. I don't have all the details. We'll do some KO of the weeks. I have 3. We'll start with this one. Hopefully there's no sound that I need to edit out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was nice. Little leg catch and then a fucking over the top. Going over the top. Oh, this one we gotta go no sound. A little face first plant there.
Nice.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, what do you get?
Like a sneaky right.
Yeah, little inside right hook.
Yeah, you got that one. And last one. This one is weird. So you got to tell me, did this guy take a dive? Because I'm not sure.
Jesus.
No, he's face down, ass up. Apparently, that's the way some people like to fuck.
He caught one. He caught a good one. That
Look
just
you.
was like later.
It's like his ego blew out and he fucking just
Pretty
shut it down. And puts us right into knowledge. You got knowledge.
I do. So I have discovered a new self-defense training technique. I'm
Nice.
gonna
I'm
share
ready.
sound. Hopefully it's not too loud. And here we go. I'll just refresh it.
See, what the hell, man? People are busting this shit out. Man, he's got some fucking extension. Oh, respect his authority. You will respect my authority.
Hooah! That's the old dick attack.
Yeah.
The dick stick.
I don't even think you could grab his dick and twist it. I think it was like lightning. Grease-lightning.
Yeah. Pretty epic.
I saw Power Slap apparently has a video game now.
Really?
I'm assuming this is a mobile game.
Yeah, no shit. No way. This is
You're not gonna fucking
console game.
PS5 or
No.
Xbox this shit.
Oh wow.
Oh, the guy flinched. 2 for flinching. Wow. It looks totally awesome. There's the instant replay.
Oh, he's got. Hey, they have some damage though. That's
Wow.
cool.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
And then I'll give you a little how not to train or how to train. And this is all interesting of ladies hitting one of these thingies.
Oh no.
But appreciate the other lady that came in earlier.
Oh,
I feel like
man.
there's a lot of bouncy shit going on in this video.
There is. Bang.
Bang bang bong.
What goes up must come down, you know.
Yes.
And you have a lot of Twitter tabs open, by the way.
Oh my god. That's my whole thing. That's all I know.
Holy shit, it was all X's all the way across.
It's just way it looks like porn sites. That's why I love it. I love X. And we'll close on this. So this is, I wish our founding fathers could see the progress we've made. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. I don't know how she's doing that, but that's fucking impressive. She's like a crosswalk.
It's like a weird.
I'm gonna watch that one more time. She lets you know when it's okay to go.
Time to cross.
Come on, finish.
Time to enter.
Yes. Or exit. It'll all work out. I feel like we just ran a marathon every time we do a show.
That has been another edition of MMA Nuts. My name's Ingo Weigold.
Mal Griffith, thanks for playing.
And we'll see you guys next time.
That's right.